building with AI can be incredibly dangerous. It can break a lot of stuff. It can cause a lot of problems for you. And we've developed a system at CodeSpring, which we're going to be launching very soon, called the CodeSpring Architect, which allows you to properly design and plan out how your features work. So I want to walk you through some of the things that we've been developing and some of the new features that we have at CodeSpring. So let me just go ahead and reset this canvas, and I'll walk you through what you can expect to see coming out in CodeSpring very, very soon. So at the moment, those of you who are using CodeSpring, you may have noticed a lot of changes over the last few weeks and months inside CodeSpring. So the first thing is we have the full global canvas, so you can see and design features and see how your app works. So right now in CodeSpring, you can design an entire app and you can visually map how your features go together. And this is kind of what it looks like for you. But we've noticed a lot of you struggled with getting control over the AI and making sure you understand exactly what's being built. One of the biggest problems that people have when they develop with AI is they will let the AI just do its thing, get on with it, and that's what causes most of the problems, because you lose context of what you're building. Now, version 2 of CodeSpring, this is CodeSpring sort of navigator, which basically allows you to navigate your entire code base and see what you're doing. Allows you to then design new features, and then you can give this to an agent and it will go ahead and tick off tasks for you. That's not what this video is about today. This video is all about CodeSpring Architect. So what I wanted to do when I designed Architect was give you a way to design features. And I thought, if I was designing a feature for CodeSpring, what is one of the things that I would do? Well, I'd probably start from a completely blank slate, and it would all come from what is the information I need in order to be able to design the feature. And most of what we've been able to build, we do over £400,000 in annual recurring revenue at CodeSpring. We have thousands of users, and one of the things that's been enabling us to make incredible updates and features and progress inside our app is feedback from our users. So what we've done is we've created this new system which allows you to design new features, and you can say, okay, well, what projects are you working on? So you can pick one of your existing projects. So I'm going to pick CodeSpring, for example. This isn't live data, by the way. This is just mock-up data. Developers are currently working on the actual real version of this. But so I'm going to work on CodeSpring, and now what we can actually do is we can work on, okay, well, once I've got this CodeSpring project, I want to go ahead and I want to design a new feature. Okay, so I'm going to click on this new feature, and I don't know if you guys ever did function boxes at school when you were learning maths, but the way that I've designed Architect is with various function boxes. So we have a feature designer function box. We have the ability down here to create a UI designer. So we have a UI designer function box, and then we also have user journey function boxes. So everything that goes into building software and building apps, from the experience that I've had growing CodeSpring and developing it and making it better over the years, has all come down to designing functionality of features, designing UI, and designing user experiences and journeys. When those three things all mesh together, you have yourself an incredible product. So here's how this works. Let's say, for example, I want to design a new feature and I don't quite know what I want it to do, and I got on a call with a customer. What I'm going to do is I'm going to say, well, actually, I had a meeting with a customer, and we were on Firefly Meeting Recorder. So I can pick a meeting recording, and then what I can do is I can put that over here, and I'm going to feed that in as an input for the feature that I'm designing. And actually, maybe, for example, I have data elsewhere. So maybe I have, let me just go ahead and move this over here for now. Maybe I had something in Notion, for example, so I could drag this over, and this is all going to be live inside CodeSpring in probably the next couple of weeks for early testing. This will be exclusive to the business plan inside CodeSpring, so I can connect this in. And what I'm doing with this is I can connect with Notion. I can say, okay, this is the page that I have in Notion, this is the information that I have written from Notion, and then now I have inside my function box all of the data that's being pulled in, and I can tell it what to do with that data. So for example, I could come into here and I could say, this conversation with this customer, he gave us some ideas and problems that he had with his app. But there was one thing that he said about a feature that he would like us to implement. I want to analyze what that is and figure out like what is the problem that he's trying to solve with that, and how can we best design a feature to help him with that, with relation to what we've already built. And then I can have Notion page. So inside this Notion, I've actually been taking notes on some of the features, and it looks like the conversation that we had with Mads is very similar to some of the stuff that I've been planning on Notion, but I think some of the things that I've come up with may be an interesting angle or some new things that we could help to make this feature work. Can you go ahead and find that and see how we can use that to design this feature? And then what we could do, for example, is we could say, well, I don't know, maybe I've got something in, I don't know about you guys, but we use Linear, okay? So we have here, if we come into development inside Linear, these are all the things that we're currently working on, these are all the updates that we've shipped. So I could actually say, well, I want to go ahead and I want to pull in data from Linear as well, and I'm going to connect that. And I'm going to connect a specific project that we're working on, which is going to be this one. And then I can drag that up and I can connect that in as well. Okay, and all of this stuff can then be used to help you design and plan features. And I could put something in here and put a bit more information in on what I'm trying to design. And then all I need to do is click on design the features. And what this is going to do is it's going to say, okay, well, based on all the information that we've got, we're going to figure out how to actually build a feature. Now, currently inside CodeSpring, if you come into the mind map, we have the orchestrator agent. And what the orchestrator agent does is it does this already, but it does it all in one go. So you can talk to it and you could say, I would like to, add a feature, and it would just go ahead and add the cards for you automatically on here. Okay, what this is doing is it's saying it's using the same agent that we have behind the scenes, and it's saying, okay, well, let's check your current app. What features have you got right now? Is what you're building accessible, or can we build it into something that already exists, or can we go ahead and need to design a brand new feature, for example, and then it will list out the core features. Now, the real version of this is going to look slightly different, but then what we can do, for example, is we can say, okay, well, I'll tell you what, I would like to map this information. Now I have the actual features, I probably want to figure out how does the user actually use it, what's the user journey for it. So we can just drag it like this, and we can do user journey, for example, and I'll tell you what, if we could click on here, for example, I can scroll up and I can see we have an existing feature called the, I don't know, let's see what we've got here. These are all just sample data, but we have a skill marketplace feature, and I want to just map that in here as well, because we have an existing feature here, and actually I'm just thinking, when a user generates this skill, it grabs a skill from the marketplace, they could probably then do this thing that this new feature wants as well. So I'm wondering how we can actually connect them together if a user, how they actually work in the same journey. I think they're similar, but the existing feature is already built out. I'm just wondering how we can connect the two together. And then for the feature breakdown that we've created, for this, let me just delete that. So you can, there's loads of other things that you can do, but we could, so we can come into here and we could say, or you could describe a little bit about what you want to do with those features. But once you're done, you can then map the journey, okay? And what this is going to do is it's going to say, okay, well, this is what happens when a user uses your feature. Step one, they do this, and then they discover this, and then they open this, and then they move on to this. So now we have specific user journeys. We can see, does this match what we actually want, okay? And we could go ahead and manually add steps. We could change things and rewrite things and reorganize things. We could actually get the agent to regenerate things. We could come back to here and say, actually, the user journey that we just generated here didn't actually work so well. Can we just regenerate that, for example? Because there's a better way I want to do it. And you could put the information in, and you could map the journey again, and it would redo it. So now we have a full map of the journey. And what I love about this is it allows me to design features into an existing plan, but unlike what we have inside CodeSpring at the moment, where if I'm working on a specific feature, I have everything else available in front of me. It's not like, I can come into here and I can search for a specific feature, and I can sort of zoom in and work on one feature at a time, but I don't necessarily need to have all this information available to me if I'm working on one feature. And this allows us to design features, but it's one of the most powerful things when you're developing apps and features is using existing customer information and all the notes that you have inside your business. So that is definitely something I'm really, really excited to build. But it doesn't just stop there, right? So I know a lot of you really struggle with designing UI and user experiences and making very cool designs. So Let's say, for example, I want my app to look like this. I can take a screenshot, and then I can come back to here, and I can just drop the screenshot in like this for a second, and maybe that's the structure of what I want, the layout of what I want my app to look like. But then I can say, well, actually, I really like this. This has got some great design style, but it's not. It's the wrong app. It's the wrong structure. But I'm going to screenshot this, and I'm going to use that for design reference as well. So I'm going to drop that in here, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to create a UI designer function. I'm going to put that here, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to drag this one, drop it in here, and I'm going to use this for layout reference, and I'm going to say this is basically what I would like this feature to look like in terms of the layout and the draggable cards and making it all clickable, and I just think it's really clean layout, and the way the typography is done is amazing. And then I could say, well, I'm actually trying to design this feature here. Okay, so we've created all of the different features, right? We can now take these features and we can drag this down here and we can connect it. So now these features are we're designing the UI for those features, okay? And then we could say, for example, actually this image here, let's just drag that in here, and we could say, I'm going to use this as style reference. So I really like the colours of this and the gradients, just the fact that it's very, very minimal, but the spacing and the layout and design is not really what I'm looking for. It's more the colours and the rounding of the corners and all of that I would like to use for this feature. And then, for example, this is all of the different features that we're building. You can see all of the features for how we're creating it, and I want to make sure that we can design a UI for this. And then, we haven't built this yet, but then you can go ahead and mock up the UI, and it will give you an actual UI mock-up. So you'll be able to see, okay, well, based on what we've designed here, all the features and information that we have, and then all of these designs, we can map them all together, and then we can see, okay, this is a mock-up of the UI, what it could actually look like. And then you can go ahead and you can make some changes. You could say, well, actually, I don't know, maybe I want to go ahead and update this. And we need to figure out a way of making it so you can update and change things. But I don't know, I think it's very, very exciting. We're adding in search functionality to make it easier for you to find what you're working on. Basically the same as what we have now added inside CodeSpring as well. But I'll do a dedicated video on this. But I don't know what you guys think. I'm very, very excited for this. You could go ahead and go into... well, let's just have a look at what other things we've got in here. So we've got user journey, UI designer, and feature designer. But I would love to hear from you guys. Is there something specific that you think would be cool? So, for example, one thing I really like is if you go to Linear, they've got incredible UI and design. Okay, so we can actually say, well, I really like this person's landing page or the design they've got, and I can just come into here, and all you need to do is just paste it in the canvas, and it will add it, and then you can go ahead and you can connect these things. So we could say. Let's drag this here and then put this over here and say, this is one of our competitors, just explore it and see if they have a similar feature and see if there's something that we can do that's similar. I don't know, right? And maybe we could put a website and connect it to our UI designer as well, for example. Or we could even just, I don't know, we could just type some text, right? So we could come to here and, I don't know, just copy some text from somewhere, I don't know, like just the word documents. Paste it in, and then we have the ability to write text, and we could say so the feature that I'm trying to design is going to solve this sort of problem for our customer. I'm not really sure how it should work. I just kind of want to brainstorm things and map things out for now and see what we can come up with, but this is kind of what my ideas are. And then you can go ahead and you can connect all of that data. So all you're doing is you're building things up. Now I'm just going to give you a brief preview, because now we have everything together. What we can do now is we can say, cool, right, we're ready to actually build, and we need to figure out how this works, and I would love your feedback on this. How will you then try and build this feature? Because I would like to map this back into my canvas, so I can then say, okay, cool, the feature's now been designed, I can now see it mapped out in here with all of my other features. So you would be able to see like your feature list, and then your user journey, for example, inside here. And then you could click onto it, and then you could go in, and then you could see the specific feature that you're working on. But when you're ready, now what we can do is we can drag this, for example, and we can do agent handoff, okay? So we've got in here the agent handoff. Well, actually, I think probably the way that I would do this is I would just come onto here and just put an agent handoff node in here, and I would say, okay, let's connect the UI that we've created, let's connect the user journey that we've created, let's connect the list of features that we've generated, and I think that's everything. And so now we have everything that we need. We have the user experience, the user journey, and the feature. and then we're going to go ahead and we are going to send it to, I don't know, Claude Code, for example, and we're going to build it. And then what it's going to do is it's going to generate Kanban tasks for your agent to then follow off and build. Now this here I haven't created properly, but this is essentially what we have inside CodeSpring at the moment. When you design a feature, you can create Kanban tasks, and then you can connect CodeSpring with any AI agent. So you can connect it with any AI agent, and then you can build it inside Cursor, Claude Code, Codex, whatever you want. Currently Codex is the one that I'm using the most when I'm building right now. And then that tool can just go ahead and build based on the Kanban tasks. So you could say, I would like you to build the feature, whatever the name of the feature is that we just created, and then it can build it. Now we're also going to actually build an update which will integrate CodeSpring directly into Cursor as well. So you can just click go, and it will actually orchestrate Cursor and build inside Cursor for you. So I don't know what you guys think about this. It does look terrifying, it looks confusing, but it really works for me for designing new features. Now we're also going to be adding in various other bits and pieces. So for example, you could improve an existing feature, right? These are templates. So for example here, I could pick an existing feature, and then we could design new updates, and I could say, well actually read this information here, or I don't know, I had this conversation on Firefly, let's connect Firefly and pull that in, and delete Slack, for example. And I could say, we have this existing feature that we've built, which our users love, but I had this call recently with Jeff, and he had some ideas on how we could fix it. So can you come up with a way to design some new features into this and how we could actually fix it? Design it, and there we go. It's found, okay, well, there's an existing feature, and then these are some of the new features that we should build, and then we can go ahead, just map out the user journey from it, and then once we're ready for that, we can just go ahead and do agent handoff, for example, and then we can just get ready to build it inside Claude Code. So then that's a much more simple example where we can actually take experienced information from customers, and we can just go ahead and map out new features and design new features. So if you're somebody who has a very complicated code base and you're getting fed up of just looking at the code and not really knowing what's going on, and you have information all over the place, now with this you'll be able to properly design things. Now we're going to be launching CodeSpring Architect, and it's only going to be available inside our business plan. So if you come into CodeSpring, you can create an account. We have 3 different plans. We have the starter plan, the pro plan, and the business plan. I'm going to put this down to £99 per month. So you're going to get 100,000 credits, £99 per month. And you're also going to get CodeSpring Architect. Actually, I mean, this may be 50,000 credits. I think we'll probably lose money if I put it on 100,000 at £99 a month. But we're going to have to launch it inside the business plan just because of how expensive it's going to be to operate and run. But if you would like to start using CodeSpring to design software, build apps, if you have clients and you're building apps for clients, we have a lot of customers who actually they run agencies, and they are designing software for their clients, and they want to show their clients kind of what they've planned. You can go ahead and create this, and if you're on the business plan, you can actually create an organization, so you can invite your team members, different teams and seats. You get 10 people to invite inside your plan. We have integrations here, so you can go ahead and connect any platform, so you can pull in all of your company data into CodeSpring already, and then in the business plan with CodeSpring Architect, you'll be able to use that to then map out features. So I would love to hear from you guys what you want us to do with this feature, if you would use it, if you like it, if you think it's really cool, if there's something you would like us to change about it, if there's any ideas you have, anything at all, please leave it down below in the comments. Now, I'm guessing this is going to be out for early beta testing probably towards the end of May, early June, 1st of June. I'm very much pushing for this to come out quicker. We are a very small team. There are only 5 of us, including me. We use AI to help us with a lot of development, but we can only go so fast. But we would love to hear your feedback. And yeah, I'm very excited to see how far this has come and what you guys use this for. Yes, we'll have other things like audit my idea. You just do like a simple UI extraction. I don't know, all sorts of things.